Hey you guys, what's up? It's Anime Blaze coming to you with a late night anime review. That is right. And for those of you who already know the anime that I'm reviewing and you've been waiting for it for a week, I apologize. I apologize because unfortunately, I did not get sick last week, which was, it's a good thing. But as soon as I started to do the review, did about 20 takes, which I'm looking at right now. It looks terrible and the school week went by and I was extremely busy the entire week, which was very surprising. I thought I'd at least have a little bit of time to squeeze in something, but hey, like I said before, my scheduling pretty much is like screwed up to the point of where I can only record on the weekends, and sometimes even then I will not have a chance to because of unforeseen circumstances. But yeah, guys, I really do apologize for those of you who were waiting for this review in advance. But I'm bringing it to you now, so you don't have to wait any longer. All right, guys. So with the intro out of the way, let's get into the actual anime that I will be reviewing. Okay. So for those of you guys who don't know, the anime show that I recently completed was Sola. Now, just keep this in mind. Look at this cover. All right. You got a girl holding an umbrella with a light blue sky background sitting in the back. And it looks pretty relaxing, maybe about a slice of life kind of atmosphere. And, you'd be pretty spot on about that. I'm not going to lie. And, just look at the back, pretty much the same thing. But, looking at this cover, you'd be pretty spot on about it being a slice of life kind of anime. However, you will see how incredibly wrong you also are when you start watching the anime series, and I'll elaborate a little bit on that when I start getting into the actual information of the review. All right, so put that out of the way, set that over there. So let's get on with the story of Solo. What is the story? Okay, well, the story revolves around a high school student named Yorito Morimiya who is pretty much obsessed with taking pictures of the sky, which I guess you could say it's his hobby, and we all have hobbies, right? So that's his hobby. And it's also revolving around his friend, the Yorito and his friends that he hangs out with, Mana and her hospitalized or currently or temporarily hospitalized sister, Koyori, and uh, Yorito's older, almost permanently hospitalized sister, Aono. Now, for a good chunk of the episodes, it pretty much seems like they are a very, very close, tight knit group of friends. And that's a good thing, to especially when you want to paint a vibe of like, slice of life friendship and all this other stuff. However, that whole aspect of the show changes it doesn't change immediately, but ever so slowly but surely does it change when they introduce the character Matsuri to the story. Now, who is Matsuri? Matsuri is the girl with the umbrella, and this girl is pretty mysterious because Yorito just meets her one night when he's out taking a picture of the sunset and everything. And she basically tells him that she is a yaka, or a calamity of the night, which I will elaborate on that later on, how that actually fits with the story. But she's a calamity of the night, and a yaka is pretty much the equivalent of a vampire, except I don't think they drink blood, and they can't go out in the sunlight. So she's never seen the sky before in her life, not once, and it's pretty messed up. It really is. But as the story progresses, you see a lot of the different stuff that starts to happen between Matsuri, Yorito, and Aono. Those are the three characters that you really need to focus on. A couple of them, Mana and Koyori are kind of just there, but they do kind of paint a mellow picture in the background, I guess, of concerned friends. But the three main characters of the show you really want to focus on are Aono, Yorito, and Matsuri. Remember those three names. And as the story changes, you see who they really are. Aono is kind of stoic, kind of like Rei from Evangelion. She's silent, doesn't say much, and whenever she does, it's kind of borderline important information. And Matsuri also has a lot of information that she knows that we don't know at the beginning of the storyline. But of course, at the beginning, this just seems like a slice of life anime. We're not supposed to know how dark the series actually is. So that's the amazing part I love about it. We don't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. When I was around episode 8, 10, and when stuff just started getting darker and they started revealing a lot more secrets and everything, I had to like literally go back and check. I was like, wait a minute, am I still watching Sola? What happened to the anime that was supposed to be a lighthearted slice of life anime series? What happened? Where did it take a serious turn? And for it to be 12 episodes and this to happen, it's actually good. And you know, I'll get into a couple of complaints that I had with the series while I'm on that note. Pacing. The pacing of the series was mediocre at the beginning because time after time, episode after episode, it seemed like they kept repainting the same image that we had seen time and time again. Yorito going with his friends or just by himself to go and visit his sister, him taking pictures of the sky, him meeting up with Matsuri, Matsuri eventually moving in, and that whole cycle pretty much goes on for a few episodes. And then, you throw in a slight few changes to the story, like Aono changing a little bit, the whole thing. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but uh, something happens with her, and she adds slowly adds a small dramatic effect to the storyline, which it seems small at first, but later on when the series starts progressing, you'll see how much of a change it actually has. Oh man, I don't even know where to go with that. But yeah, the pacing was terrible. For me, at the beginning of the series, I was going to just give the series a flat out 6 out of 10 because of the pacing. But eventually, when it started picking up out of nowhere, I had to give it an 8 because it jumped up 2 points. It literally had the potential to change like that. That's just what I think. All right. Like I said, it changed from slice of life to a dark, not really depressing. Well, yeah, depressing ending. That was depressing. And speaking of, I guess, characters, I'm going to go a little bit briefly on characters. All right, Matsuri and Aono. So, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a literary device known as foiling, where it's pretty much where at the beginning of a series or at the end of a series or a book or whatever, you have two characters who pretty much represent the opposites of each other. If you guys have never seen Kiba, go and check that out. I'll probably go in depth with that a little bit later on, character comparison. But yeah, these characters change dramatically. Matsuri more or less kind of stays the whole, I guess, let me think. She kind of stays the whole lighthearted, comedic kind of girl, but even at the end, towards the ends of the series, she starts getting a little bit more dark and not really stoic, but more serious about the situation that's actually at hand. And Aono, Aono starts off as a stoic girl who doesn't show any emotion, doesn't say anything. But by the end of the series, you're starting to wonder what happened. Hopefully, you guys noticed that because I know I did. And one thing I really want to go into, I don't know if I'll make another video about this. I'll probably just go briefly about this, explaining the calamity of the night, my thoughts on this. So at the beginning of the series, Matsuri says that she is a calamity of the night, or a yaka. And, at first, it just seems like it's just a title, like Calamity of the Night in quotations. Calamity of the Night, that's it. However, by the end of the series, or at least later on in the series, it's not really just a title. It turns into a metaphor. It starts to reflect what she actually meant. A calamity of the night. When Matsuri is introduced to the storyline, and by the end of the series, when stuff starts happening, you start realizing just how much of a dramatic effect that she's had on Yorito, Aono, and everybody else's life in general. You start noticing those things. And I mean, the story, it's pretty tragic in some points of it where it went, and you start seeing where the whole calamity causing went into effect and went into play. And she caused those things. I think that's pretty much all I can really go with for now. This review might spawn later videos, so, if you guys are interested in that, hit me up in the comment section below. But all in all, guys, Sola, what did I think about this anime series? Originally buying it, I didn't know what to expect from this anime. I thought it was just going to be an underrated slice of life anime, just slide it under the table and hey, watch it if you don't have anything else to watch. But now I realize that it's actually something that's worth watching. 12 episodes and having a dramatic change from the beginning of the series to the end that has a person reflecting, is this still the same show that I was watching? That's the kind of show that Sola is to me. I don't know how it would be to you, but go ahead and check it out. Originally started off at a 6 out of 10, went to an 8 out of 10, which is still pretty good in my opinion. So the official grade that I am giving Sola is an 8 out of 10. It's worth watching. The pacing is a little slow at the beginning, but eventually it begins to build up to a point where you start to notice stuff and start thinking. So guys, would I recommend you watch it? Yes. It's definitely something to watch if you have nothing else to watch, or if you're just looking for something a little bit different than your typical slice of life anime, or something that starts off as a slice of life and goes into much darker themes like Clannad. So all in all, guys, I will catch you guys later in whatever it may be happening that I decide to do. Oh, and one more thing. If you guys start noticing a little bit of a school days kind of effect going in there, not with the whole player thing going on with Makoto or the main character, but just kind of the darker themes, just pay attention. All right? Anyway, guys, I'll catch you later.